am Jitender Singh Dahiya. I welcome you to Read My Story, where I interview authors, speakers, coaches, celebrities, entrepreneurs, and more. Today, I have with me Miss Shrruti Clarence. She is the first ever finalist from Pune at Mrs. Universe and first to win the title from India as Mrs. Universe Confident. She is an image coach, soft skill trainer, pageant groomer, organizer, airline and etiquette coach, TEDx speaker, and a published author in 7 anthologies and one historical fiction novel, A Tulip in the Desert. She is also the director SkillEtz Foundation Learning and Development, director CIELA Global Events LLP. Today she will be discussing with us her life journey. So let us hear from her. Welcome Shruti. The platform is open and now over to you.
Thank you so much for having me over. And hello, everyone. Thank you for listening in.
So to start, I'd like to know about your past life, how it has affected you as a person, who you wanted to be in your life, and what you became.
Well, interesting question because it's been a journey of ups and downs.
Correct.
And I started off as just another young girl in a average Maharashtrian Christian family in Pune. Largely education has been from a convent and then a college. Now what actually happened then is I was very, very focused on what I wanted to do.
Okay.
So at a very early age, I joined Airline. So I think I was almost 18 when I moved to Mumbai, our city of dreams, to pursue my dream of the airlines.
Okay.
And that's when I worked with a lot of airlines there. Now all these experiences, I mean, starting from there and where all life took me and brought me here. That's
yeah, wonderful. So it's been early age when you started your career as an into airline industry, and you worked there around. You told me that you worked there around 7-8 years, I guess, if I'm not wrong.
Yes. So Mumbai was like close to 5 years. Then I came back. I worked with an airline back office in Pune, and that was for almost 8 to 10 years. I worked my way up as a manager in the airline, in the back office here, and back to airlines, which I worked with Kingfisher in Hyderabad. That was post where marriage took me. That was in Hyderabad. So what, the journey that started with our favorite Air India to British Airways, Swiss Air, then to an aviation back office, handling as a manager, and then back again to Kingfisher. So that's been a real journey on the wings, if I can say that.
A decade of travel, flying.
Yeah, I think close to 2 decades, if I can, put the entire journey
So
together.
including both,
Including both.
managerial job and the previous into Okay, wonderful. So with this, I'd like to know more about your passion. Like, what is the thing you are passionate about in your life?
So many things. Now, so the very core thing that I can remember, and which has been very, very instrumental in somewhere in what I am today, is my passion for writing.
Okay.
So that has been something that has really, really kept me alive. And passion for writing. That's what I'm reading, of course.
Great. So writing and reading is your passion. So now coming back to your work and experiences again, like you have just mentioned about your work in airlines just now. Now we would like to know about your second inning as well, which you did not mention. So we would like to know about that.
So an interesting one there, and yes, it's recently covered even in my recent TEDx talk. So like I said, work took me all around and brought me, post marriage to Hyderabad, and where I worked with Kingfisher. And that's when I decided to take a career sabbatical.
Okay.
So this was for my children.
And
जो शुरुआत में सोचा था कि भाई 1-2 साल का ब्रेक ले लूंगी, so it went on to around 5-6 years वाला sabbatical.
Okay.
I'm sure a lot of women who are listening in would identify with this phase of life, because this is something that each one faces somewhere or the other.
Yes.
So during that break is when a lot of downs. The downside is what I saw.
Yeah.
Going through and struggling through, battling through a phase of depression, because at the peak of career, very voluntarily though, that I gave up that career for my children. I was very happy. But somewhere a nagging thought aa jata hai kabhi ki, what is the purpose in life? What am I here?
Yes.
Mujhe kya karna hai?
Correct.
The core question about your existence, and that's what was, I was probably going through at that time. Struggling with a lot of self-image issues as well around that.
Yes.
And all of this, and that's why I said that writing was pretty instrumental to me at that time, because that is something that helped me to sort of pull myself back again on track. Because all those pent-up emotions, all those thoughts, that were, that I was struggling with, I was able to put it down on paper. And नेगेटिविटी में भी पॉजिटिविटी ढूंढना यार मेरे ब्लड का ही एक पार्ट है, बी पॉजिटिव. सो खैर वहाँ से वहीं से the journey of becoming a published author as well began.
So that was the point in time when you started writing actually.
Yeah, I started actually writing for myself, because somewhere I just wanted to vent out. And my laptop, my pen, paper was my sathi at that time. And so somewhere those stories found publishers, and I was very lucky that they were there at the right time, and the stories reached to many. There's a historical fiction novel that I researched a lot on, and which is now on Kindle as well. The hard copies were sold out very soon, so it's now on Kindle.
Okay, so after writing, you also you are not. I just
stopped there.
I'm curious to know about the next thing.
Yes, I think you probably have heard the story somewhere. Yeah. So yes, writing was something, like I told you, that pulled me out, and फिर सोचा यार हर एक की एक बकेट लिस्ट होती है ना, शायद आपकी भी होगी. या this is a question probably to every woman who's listening in, कि कुछ तो एक लिस्ट में होता है कि ना ये वाला चीज मुझे 1 2 3 4 5 I want to just tick off. मेरी भी एक बकेट लिस्ट थी, which was walking the ramp. And while growing up, and listeners, I struggled a lot with body image. So I was born, dark skinned and the only black sheep of the family.
Okay.
So I grew up hearing a lot about that, about color and about, all of that. And somewhere वो एक धारणा होती है that, when you want to enter the fashion industry, there are certain standards and certain, set norms that you need to fit in.
Correct.
And thinking about all of that, somewhere
kind of
showcasing
really kind of showcasing,
and and career of course kept me very busy. Then when I was on sabbatical, I said abhi ye wali cheez to I need to tick it off. Alright. So that's when I came across a Mrs. Pageant. So a Mrs. Pageant, okay, which that time was like, acha aise bhi hota hai. I thought only a Miss World or a Miss India or a Miss Universe happens. So when I heard Mrs., I said, chalo yaar, this is a chance probably that has walked up to me, saying that bas tumko karna tha, so we've opened the doors. So I grabbed it with both hands. I registered into beauty pageants at that time. Which one was at the Pune district level and one was at the state level, Maharashtra level. The dates happened so that the Maharashtra level came first. And like, let's face it, 10-12 years as an aviation enthusiast, professional. I used to do a lot of anchoring in my corporate life, so I never had stage fear.
Okay.
So everyone perceived me as pretty confident
About speaking and all.
About speaking. So they were like, यार ये तो top 10 क्या, ये तो जीत भी सकती है, top 3 में भी आ सकती है. The turning point of that journey was that when I went on stage and I was saying my introduction, somewhere I just froze on stage.
Okay.
And that was a time when I was actually, dragging myself out of that depression phase.
Correct.
So writing somewhere helped me. And then I said, I want to bring back the confidence. And how can I do that was putting myself back on the stage, something that I really loved earlier. And I was like, शायद वहाँ जाके मुझे वो confidence या मेरा वो self belief मिल जाए. Now the fact that very thing, I froze on, it just brought me crashing down back again.
Correct.
So I was back in that depressed phase कि यार मुझसे तो शायद कुछ होगा ही नहीं, good for nothing वाला जो feeling आता है.
Correct. That happened.
Like I told you, I registered for 2, and the second one was just 2 weeks away.
Okay.
एक पूरा हफ्ता मैं literally I would not even look at myself in the mirror. I was that shocked that how can.
So you got courage from depression to stand up and take a chance in a beauty pageant, and in first instance you got failed. So after that you were kind of like depressed again. Then how you got the courage to bounce back?
So ये वाली चीज थी, which I always tell everyone, especially girls and women, is that काफी सारी बार हम support हमारे बाहर ढूंढते हैं, हमारे आसपास ढूंढते हैं.
Yes.
But that motivation and support and courage has to come from within.
Correct.
You need to stand up for yourself. You need to push yourself because no one can do it better than you.
Yes.
And you need to believe in yourself because no one can do it better than you.
Yes, you have lots of strength in you.
So this is what I literally was telling myself, that you need to get out of that blanket now. Second pageant hai, you need to prove it to yourself ताकि आप खुद को तो at least देख पाओ यार in the mirror.
Correct. The thing important is prove yourself, not to others. Because when we try to prove others, we don't take that chance which we should. So when we try to prove ourselves, we put our energy, not only energy, the soul, the effort, everything. We put everything onto it.
Correct. And just to add on to that, you prove to become a better version of yourself. क्योंकि किसी और का version बनने में आप किसी और ढांचे में ढलना पड़ता है.
Yes.
When you are trying to prove to yourself, it is all about how you were and how better you can be.
Correct.
And that's exactly how I entered Mrs. Pune. And the best part was that I went on to become the winner of Mrs. Pune. Yeah. So, literally down and out and depressed that I failed, to seeing yourself there. And it was, trust me, a huge emotional struggle. This small step from here to becoming the winner. And of course then after that there was no turning back. Then you
went on to like state, then country level, then
state. Then I did Face Free Maharashtra was the first runner-up. Mrs. India International in Bangkok. I was conferred Mrs. Intelligent, Beauty with Brains.
Okay, wonderful.
And then going forward, I was nominated for Mrs. Universe, and I was conferred the title Mrs. Universe Central Asia.
Yeah. And finally, Mrs. Universe Confident.
And yes.
Wonderful. This is a really an amazing journey. So from here to now, a different question altogether. What is your vision, mission, and goal for next 5 to 10 years?
Wow. Okay. So my vision, has always been. if I can quote it straight from my lines, and as an author, these are my lines. To serve, to excel in service.
Okay.
And when I mean excel, it means to be better than what you were, like I shared earlier.
Correct.
And everything in service. So that is something that I really believe in.
The first thing is
you should talk.
Yeah,
go on, please.
Yeah, first thing is you should improve yourself. Second thing is you offer your services to help others improve. This is your thought.
Right. And when you talk about mission, it's been it's something that's very close to me when I say to empower women and youth to write their own success stories with the pen of powerful personal image.
Yes, definitely. They are their own creation, so make it or write it or pen down on paper and share your story with public.
And write your own stories and not to become, somebody else's copy. Or it's good to have and to look up to people, but it's ultimately all about you and your identity, because I always say this, Bhagwan ne ek hi unique piece banaya hai, masterpiece, which is you. Correct. So why not write your own success story?
Yes, definitely. And with this, I'd like to know about your 3 or 4 important life lessons which you have learned from your past life, could be personal, and your career, profession.
So personally, what I have learned is one, self-belief, right? And that's the first step to anything else that you want to achieve.
Correct.
क्योंकि उसके बिना आप शायद ही आगे बढ़ सकते.
That is the first point you start your journey with.
Right. So believe in what you can do, believe in what you can achieve, believe in your skills, your capabilities, and take it from there. Sky is the limit.
Correct.
So that is one thing when I talk about personal. When I talk about professional, learning is something that I believe in. Learning should never stop.
Yes.
And this is what I've always said. The moment I think for me, I would stop learning probably when I would be in my grave. So till then, it's all about learning, not just your technical or your theory or whatever. That is definitely one integral part of it.
Correct.
But you can learn so much from people around you, from the nature around you, from everything around you.
Yes. It's up to you what exactly you are looking for. You can find inspiration, you can find motivation from anywhere in the world.
Absolutely.
Correct. Wonderful. So with this, I'd like to know more about your programs. Like, since you told that you are closely working with women, and you are working with women who are undergoing similar kind of situation which you were into, kind of depression and kind of self-realization, they're not onto the right path. So how you work with them, how you help them, motivate them, encourage them?
Right. So, when I was back from Mrs. Universe, number one, I myself didn't know that, it was kind of like history being created, being the first Indian who won Mrs. Universe confident. So a lot of my friends said, check on Google, bhai, there's nobody before you who's actually won this. So I said, okay. So that actually brought about a realization, because a lot of youngsters, girls, a lot of women, who wanted to restart something in their life. Who started coming up to me and saying, यार हमको भी ऐसे ही कुछ confident बनना है, हमको भी कुछ करना है. And that's when I took it upon me to get myself certified as a soft skills trainer. So I am as of now a certified soft skills trainer, and as a director of SkillEtz Foundation, which is completely into skill development. What I focus on as a director training and development and image building there is building up these thoughts, be it in the youth or the women, largely, who say that we also want to do something.
Correct.
So we have a lot of programs here which we do in terms of confidence building, working on appearance, body language, communication. Because when I talk about your personal image, it is not just only about the way you look or the way you speak, in stylos, but it is all of this put together.
Yes.
Right? So
Correct.
working on all these aspects together, and then ultimately we've come to realize, and we've got a lot of success stories, because once we've gone through this, women have actually found themselves. They have rediscovered their real self. They have rediscovered that confidence. And there are success stories, and I love to share this, where there have been a couple of ladies who were in a complete shell and very, very unsure about themselves. Okay, I don't know whether I can, I'm even worth doing anything about myself.
Yes.
And today, these are the women who are entrepreneurs and selling their products on Flipkart and Amazon.
Wonderful. So from self-doubt to a confident women, entrepreneur, not only like working for themselves, also like creating employment for others.
Creating employment. Absolutely.
Correct. This is really an awesome thing to work on, and I think you are doing a tremendous job. Wonderful. So hats off to you. And now we are moving on to another question about the programs which you are running, as in women's, as in like people coming to you. So what is the value addition they seek from your side? One thing you have just pointed out, that they would be getting the confidence, they would be getting the right way of communication, which includes personality and communication both. But apart from this, like how they gonna transform their life? What would be the value addition they are going to add?
So there are 2-3 things now, okay, because there are 2-3 hats that I wear. You must have realized that.
Yeah.
So one, like I shared with you, is skill development, and there's so much that I can talk about on that, because concentrating on the youth, because we know that they are our future. So grooming them and setting them on the right path. So either it can be moving into entrepreneurship or into corporate life. So grooming them in both these aspects.
Correct.
That being there's women, and a lot of women who are coming out, and women entrepreneurship is something that or entrepreneurship on a large scale is what we are looking to focus on. And like you very rightly added, that it also generates employment, right?
Yeah.
So that is the second thing that I would say are the programs that we run. Together with this, being a pageant coach, okay, so I also coach youngsters and women also who want to discover themselves and get that confidence on being on a stage, because let's face it, the stage teaches you and gives you a lot of things, okay? Starting from confidence, public speaking, conducting yourself, body language. It's a whole package,
combination of everything, like.
Correct. So pageant grooming is our other aspects that we train on. A lot of girls have reached international levels, and I take immense pride in saying that women and girls who have trained from me have definitely won something at the back.
Yes, definitely.
So that's the kind of international level trainings that we give. Having said this, there are a lot of etiquette and grooming trainings also that happen, coming from my corporate 20 years of aviation and corporate life. So when I say etiquette, we know there are a lot of students who enter into the corporate life, who want to venture out of the country, or even being here, they are dealing with a lot of overseas clients and customers. So we have customized programs for all of these people.
Wonderful. I'm looking forward to hear some of the big newses of like women who are trained by you, got some crown for India. That is the thing I wish to happen soon. So good wishes to you and to all your students who are undergoing that training program. So best wishes for all. So with this, I'd like to know more about you personally. Are you an introvert or an extrovert now and previously also when you started your career?
Good
So what
question.
kind of
So,
transformation has happened?
up introvert who are extrovert listeners can tell when they interact with you. But to tell you about how it was earlier, so I was a pretty tomboyish kind of person. Okay, so a lot of boys would complain to my mother that I would trouble them. So this was in the growing days. Like I told you, there was a lot of color discrimination that I went through while growing up. So that brought me into a complete shell. So ये जो धारणा है कि you're born introvert or extrovert is something that I want to highlight here. That sometimes it becomes very situational.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. Most of the time it is situational.
Yes, from a very bubbly, no care attitude person, I suddenly became an extreme introvert, so much that when I went back to school very recently, I was invited for some award and something, and the teachers were like, "Wow, you've done so much, and we don't even know which batch you belong to." Okay. So that much of silent I had become, and that much of introvert I had grown to become. And like I told you, so that emotional mental struggle started right from there. So I chose a career which was airline, which demanded that I spoke to people. Correct.
That helped you became extrovert.
So that helped me to come back again. And then there was a phase when I was struggling with my depression. So again, I went back into a shell. So these have been phases, but by and large, thankfully, now I absolutely enjoy interacting with people and sharing, all these experiences.
Correct.
With all of them.
Correct. So
that counts me as an extrovert.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Wonderful. So why I put this question to every interview, because what my thought behind this is, like, people think if they are introvert they would not get succeed, and if they are extrovert they may achieve great heights. This is not the thing, and you rightly said introvert and extrovert are both depends on situations. Like, first situation made you introvert, second situation when you got into a career of airlines that help you get out of the shell and start to interact with people, which is kind of extrovert. So your job role helped you to become more extrovert. So this is my advice to people: don't take it personally, whatever you are, introvert or extrovert. Try to maximize the benefit out of those situations and do best.
Absolutely.
So now I have a question with you. During the journey when you were depressed, apart from your own inner strength, who all supported you in that journey?
Okay, so a wonderful question that when I was struggling with my phase of depression, number one that I shared with you was my pen, paper, and my laptop.
Yeah.
Okay? Because that was something that I did in terms of writing. Yes. And वो तभी मेरा सबसे close साथी था, because that was a time when I was pouring in a lot of thoughts, and that helped me to discover myself back again and get out of that place. But of course, I also credit the entire thing also to my childhood friend, who, though not being in India, living in Australia, she was just a call away. So there was a lot of times when we would just speak on phone and share a lot of things with each other. So yes, it's like I said in the beginning, that whatever you are going through, largely you need to kick yourself out of
Correct.
it, you know. So
Correct.
you need to push yourself
Correct.
out of that phase.
Yes, definitely. So, like in your life, who are your inspirations and motivations, and why?
My inspiration. So I have always shared this that there definitely are a couple of people I look up to, and I've taken inspiration from. I have always looked up to the life of APJ Abdul Kalam. So, and I was deeply grieved at the loss. Basically, there's another person that I've also looked up to is Priyanka Chopra.
Okay.
So,
Yes.
Living the same sort of journey, a normal Indian, growing up the same way, and reaching the heights that she has reached.
Correct.
And the niche that she has carved, for herself.
Yes. Yes.
So, a self-made woman, if I can say that.
Yes.
So, just to name a few, I mean, there are so many more. Like I told you that, inspiration and motivation is something, that is all around you, and you can derive
Correct.
it from.
Correct. 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 If you want to get motivated, get inspired, you can inspire, you can get motivated from anything. Could be physical, non-physical, could be anything. Could be human being, could be animals. You can get inspiration from anywhere. So
very much. And as of now, as on date, my son, my kids, they also, are a driving force because,
yes.
A lot of times, they encourage you and they say certain things which, prompts you to do things better than what you did before.
Correct. Agree. And they are the joy in your life too.
Absolutely.
Yes. So now I'd like to ask you one important thing. You failed in first event, then you succeeded in second event. So what is success to you, and how it looked like to you?
Right. So that journey actually, failing in one and then going on to win the second pageant. What I realized then, and of course through my 2 decades of experience, in the corporate, in the aviation industry, is success is not, people think that success comes to, people who have everything, who have everything that comes very easily to them. But for me, success is not the absence of failure. It is what you do after you face that failure.
Yeah.
That would determine whether you are moving towards success.
Correct.
Or you are going to sit with that thought of, oh, I am a failure and a good for nothing, and ab mujhse to na ho paye.
Yes, definitely. Like any other people on your shoes, that point in time when you failed in the first event might have taken a chance that she have failed for life, or you have taken a chance not to fail again, and you put your all the efforts, you put your entire energy, entire soul, everything, and you won the first title. That is kind of a success to me. And after that, whatever you have done is a progress, I would say. The first thing is, if you take your failure as the outcome of your life, then things are over. But if you take failure as part of your learning and try to improve yourself, take it as a challenge, and success is not the thing which you achieve, but it is kind of a happiness you gathered from your journey.
So true.
Correct. So this is like I feel all about success. So with this, we are moving on to the last question. Your advices, suggestions are really prestigious, appreciated. So please share a few of the advices with us, with our audience, with our listeners, viewers.
Advices to the viewers.
Yes.
So number one that I even said before, and I can't stress more on that, is self-belief.
Yes.
for the risk of sounding self-obsessed or selfish, but let's face it, it is the reality that self-belief is the first step to anything. You believe in yourself. If there are young mothers who are listening in, and I always share this, is that or anyone, even the youngsters, stop body shaming, guys, because it just leaves scars that that are not visible, but they are so deep that it's unbelievable what damage they do to young minds.
Yes.
And going forward, that
destroys a life of a person to some extent. Maybe sometimes it is to some little extent, but most of the cases I've seen, people are suffering from those things throughout their life.
True, and it takes a massive amount of effort, to get out of that, and then to believe in yourself, and then to move to success. It just becomes a longer process.
Yes.
There are many who fail under that.
Agree.
Under those circumstances. So that is something that I really encourage people is, be positive and spread positiveness, spread smiles, spread as much positivity and smiles as you can.
Yes.
And of course, confidence.
That is the key.
That is.
Wonderful. So this is really an interesting discussion, I would say. We have discussed about so many things, and everything which we had in our discussion today is really impactful. If somebody takes it on a positive note and try to implement, that can change anybody's life for sure. And I must say that we had a wonderful discussion today. You are really amazing, and I'd like to hear more from you, and I would like to invite you again soon. So thank you so much, Shruti, for your time. It was a wonderful discussion with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you everyone who was listening in and who will be listening in. Thank you so much.
Guys, I also would like to share details of Shruti so that you can be in touch with her. Take her help in any of the programs she is running. So she will help you the best way possible. So don't forget to check that out. And in last, I'd like to thank you everyone for watching and listening. I hope you all must have gathered a lot of information and enjoyed watching. So don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Have a good time. Thank you and bye-bye.
Thank you.